The next thing I want to talk about is customer service. And you've already kind of mentioned that as one of your differentiating factors in your company. But talk to us more specifically about how does that look with interacting with a tenant?
Oh, you have to be, because of the way the world is, you have to be ready at any time. I always joke that I have a property mindset. So every time I answer the phone, I never know what the story, the craziness is going to be. I just have to be open-minded and get back to them. One of the things that I pride myself in is getting back to somebody within 48 hours. I look at it as like a tennis match. You put the ball in my court, I'm going to hit it back. Now I'm going to wait for you. I'm not a used car salesman. I'm not going to keep on you and keep on you. I'll remind you, hey, hit the ball back, but I'm not going to keep going. Because I've taken that role, the feedback I've gotten from people is, you're nice to work with because you make it an easy process. So that's the way I look at it. It's just like a game. We hit the ball into each other's court and wait for it to come back.
Sure. And I guess, how does that compare with, like, sometimes we might be tempted to approach tenants as a commodity or as a hassle or a problem? How do you combat that mindset because of the difficulties that can sometimes come up with this business?
Definitely. Great question. So the way we look at it is, we don't find tenants, we find residents. And just that word softens it up. I've been very, very blessed. I don't know how or why, but I have only 3 evictions on my record in 14 years. What I do is I find out the little things.
Are those on your record? Or
No, not on my... Great question. Not on my personality. And all 3 were crazy situations. It was college housing. Kids just picked up and moved out. That's one. Second one, wife lost her child support and her alimony. What is she going to do? According to the neighbors, she just picked up and leave. She was not proud of the situation. Third one was even weirder. It was a family up in Big Lake. They were looking for their dream home, couldn't find it, needed to move. They signed a lease on Friday. Over the weekend, they found their dream home, called me Monday and was like, I need to get out of my lease. I'm like, here's your options. They're like, we're not going to do anything. You can evict us. We found it. I'm like, okay. So you just never know where each situation is, but that's kind of what I would say.
Yeah. Okay. And then what about specifically to the property owners? I think that's one of the biggest objections that owners have is like, just the customer service isn't there with their property manager. They try to let the manager do their job, but it seems like they're dropping the ball. I don't know. How do you handle that relationship with the owner to make sure they are confident in your service?
Oh, a great question again. Basically, like I said, is we put ourselves into their shoes. So I had a situation where I had tenants that moved in. The owner was trying to sell and couldn't sell. Residents moved in. A month later, they said their sink was backed up. So we went out to look at it. We ended up finding something that the tenants put in there. Well, we're not going to charge the owner for that maintenance request. We're going to protect them. We're actually going to charge the residents for that. So that's what we mean when we say we put ourselves in their shoes, is what would I do if I was in their shoes? The other thing, too, is we always tell them, let us do what we do best, your property management. If you don't hear from us, that means we're doing a great job. Like I just joked with one of my clients that I've worked with for years and years and years. He's a cute old gentleman that does all his maintenance himself and whatever, and he calls me up. He's like, Brenda, I'm going to have to let you go. And I'm like, what? What did I do? He goes, you just did too good of a job. You found me perfect tenants. They never call. And I was like, okay, well, what can I do to keep you under management? So he trusted me enough to find that qualified resident to live in the house. And that's what I always joke with homeowners when I meet. I'm like, after this, my goal is never to talk to you again. That means I did a great job.
All right. What ways have you found that you need to balance this customer service with enforcing the rules of the lease?
Yeah, great question. So I tell a lot of my homeowners, I want to be their friend to a point, but then when I have to put down my foot, I can. So I want them to communicate why rent is late. Most times, especially today is October, 2nd, I'm going to get all these text messages. Oh, my rent will be in a few days. I'm waiting for a paycheck. I want that open communication so that I can turn around and then let the owner know. On the other side, if I have to go, dude, it's the 10th. Where's your money? Come on. I can put down my foot and I'm not too mean that I totally close them off and then close the door to when they do maintenance requests and everything else. I try to tell everyone I'm that cushion. I'm not your dad coming down on you if you break something. I'm that crazy aunt that we see each other at holidays and that's about it. That's the way I look at property management.
Okay. Want to hear more on this topic? Click the link below for the full episode of Maximizing Your Property Value.